EV chargers are set for a major acceleration. Let's be real. Last week was not a great one for electric vehicle adoption in America. The federal EV tax credits came to an end, and though they helped to juice zero-emission car sales for months, a big slowdown is anticipated next. On top of that, the Trump administration is using the government shutdown to cancel billions of dollars in clean energy investments, the very projects needed to ensure EVs can one day reach their full potential by running on a grid powered by renewable energy rather than fossil fuels. But there is one bright spot in the current moment. EV charger growth is accelerating, and believe it or not, the very same Trump administration is helping to make it happen. This unusual situation kicks off our Monday edition of Critical Materials, our morning roundup of industry and technology news. Trump fails to kill NEVI funding, speeds it up instead. Longtime readers of this publication and industry pros probably know the acronym NEVI, the National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Program. Under the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, the program allocated $5 billion in funding for DC fast chargers for states to dole out in the form of grant money. As part of its anti-green energy and cost-cutting push, the Trump administration sought to cancel that funding, but a federal court overruled that move in July. Since then, Politico reports more than 40 states are in the process of unlocking their NEVI funding, and red states like Texas and Montana lead the way. At least 32 say they have gotten a green light, and Trump's Department of Transportation actually seems to be offering more flexibility on where these chargers can be placed. The publication calls this a major acceleration. The new guidance that issued in August largely kept the Biden administration's rules, but ditched a contentious requirement that chargers be placed every 50 miles along major highways. It also directed states to quickly submit updated implementation plans to access the funds. In the weeks since, at least 44 states and Washington, D.C. have submitted their plans. Spokespeople for those states told Politico. In a statement Friday, spokesperson Nathaniel Sizemore said the Biden administration had added requirements to NEVI that were difficult to understand and implement, and that the huge amount of money that remained unobligated when the former president left office was a clear signal of the program's failure. Earlier this year, Secretary Duffy and the Federal Highway Administration launched a review of the program's guidance to make the NEVI program more efficient, Sizemore said. If a state's submitted plan meets the requirements detailed in the updated program guidance, it will be approved, and the state's NEVI funding will be made available for obligation. State and industry officials said the rush to access the money was due to both pent-up enthusiasm for the charger cash and a positive reception to the flexibility offered under the new rules. We're already seeing states re-engage and move more quickly toward accessing funds, said David Piperno, chief financial officer at SparkCharge, an EV fleet charging provider. The overall tone has shifted, and there's a new urgency to put these dollars to work. One transportation official told Politico that the strategic placement of chargers in America is about to get better, and at more gas stations and existing stops, because there's no longer this arbitrary 50-mile requirement. That was often very difficult to implement in, say, places like Alaska, which might have 80-mile stretches of rural highway with no communities along the way. So, to recap, Trump tried to cancel EV charger funding, failed, declined to appeal in court, and has somehow put new rules in place that may actually be cutting red tape around deployment. What a time to be alive. But it also reflects a growing reality. Millions of EVs are expected to hit the road in the coming years, regardless of Trump's policies, and their drivers are going to need places to charge. If you look at the states that are putting their charging plans and their money back into play the soonest, it's really states that recognize their EV adoption rate is going to continue to climb, said Joshua Rodriguez, Program Director for Environment at the Nonpartisan American Association of State Highway and Transportation Officials. Red or blue or purple, it doesn't really matter. It's a good sign that tax credits or no, you can't stop progress. Source, reposted and summarized from Patrick George at insideevs.